do what I wanna, innovate what I'm gonna. You can hate all you wanna, but you sold your pajama. Now I ain't a prima donna, but I built what I wanna. You can say my vision's wrong, the tune of my song. Broke my thumb, bang into my own drum. Broke my thumb, bang into my own drum. Broke my thumb, bang into my own drum. Hootin' and clapping, boots I am a strapping, a click click clacking. Hurrah! Bootstrapping in America. Yeah, bootstrapping in America.
Christy, we're back. Bootstrapping in America.
We are back. I'm Christy Ross. This is Tony Batista, and this is Bootstrapping in America, where we interview some of the hottest entrepreneurs in Chicago and beyond. Our guest today was born in Morocco and came here in 2003. He's the founder and CEO of ChoreRelief, which he started in 2016. It's an app for busy people to find gig workers and for gig workers to run and grow their freelancing business. This is not his first entrepreneurial endeavor. He previously started an organic beauty product line. He has a bachelor's in computer science and telecommunication from High Tech in Morocco and a master's degree in IT from Elmhurst College here in Illinois. We have Tariq khribech. There we go. Khribech.
There you go.
I was trying so hard.
85% right on just about everything.
85.
Oh boy! All right. Before we get started and talking about ChoreRelief, I want you to talk about your background a little bit in Morocco and what brought you to the States.
I actually had never had a plan to come to the state. When I was in Morocco, while I was in the middle of my undergrad school, I met a friend of mine. His uncle was a product inspector of electronic equipment back in Europe. And that company, what they do is, like, if there is a little button that is not in the right place, they consider that defective merchandise, and they throw it and they destroy it. So I met with that guy, and I said, hey, what if I can buy it from you? I promise you I wouldn't sell it in Europe. I'll sell it in Morocco, Africa, across the borders. No one sees it. And if it makes you feel any better, I'll bring your cousin in a deal. So we were, like 19 years old at that time. And first order was, I got a call from him 2 weeks later. I said, hey, I have a container for you. I said, great. How much? He said, well, how much you guys wanted to pay? I said, you know what? We'll give you 10,000 euros for it. And 2,000 euros for the drivers. I mean, I don't know how to drive an 18-wheelers. And the guy surprisingly accepted a deal.
You paid too much?
No.
We
paid really good deal.
Okay.
So the question is, as it happened so fast that I didn't even think about where the hell I'm going to store a 19-wheeler worth of stuff in it that I have no idea. Kind of feel like that Storage War here show where you don't know what you're getting yourself into. But surprisingly, knock on the wood, it was a great deal. As the truck made it to Tangier, which is the crossing border between Europe and Africa, and I'm about 2.5 hours away in Rabat, the capital. I'm starting to thinking, where am I going to store this? Where am I going to put this? Luckily, my older brother used to live here. He just built a house, and the whole first floor was supposed to be a restaurant cafe. It was vacant. So we stored everything out there. I brought kids from my neighborhood. I said, hey, $5, help me carry the stuff. We got them all inside. Now, the question happened is, talk about business plan. This is business plan on demand. As we store everything up, it hits me again. I was like, how are we going to sell this? How are we going to distribute this? Then the next day, I was at a local store buying some, breads and stuff, and I overheard the Coca-Cola truck just drop off the cases and walked away. He didn't get paid. He didn't get nothing. So I asked the clerk, and I said, how are you paying this guy? He said, we do consignment. He puts stuff here, come back at the end of the week. By the time he pick up the empty bottles, we get them the payment. I'm like, bingo. That's when we start taking our merchandise from my brother's warehouse and then go to local stores. And I go like, how much is that? The CD player, $50. How much do you get it for? 25. What if I give it to you for 10? And here's the thing, don't pay me now, pay me when you sell it. that sounds great? Within almost a month, we sold out all of our merchandise, and we made almost 90,000 profit.
You made a sweetheart deal.
Yes,
awesome.
And then that's when things start coming on. Like I was feeling like Pablo Escobar of the electronics and selling equipments. And I never told my parents. I mean, my father would have killed me knowing that I was running the business on the side of going to school.
Is he still alive? Because he's listening. Oh.
No, he's not.
Okay.
No. Then my mother, she made the appointments to go to the U.S. Embassy to do the interview. And I got a call from my brother, and he said, "You need to come home." Like with this serious tone, "You need to come home." And I'm like 6 hours away from home. Honestly, first thing I thought was like something happened to my mom. Got in the car, rushed home. I got in. What seems to be the problem? You got an interview for the U.S. Embassy tomorrow. I'm like, well, I didn't take any appointment, but we did. And here's your file. Here's your transcript. Here's your stuff. Because at that time we finished with the undergrad. And I said, okay, no problem. That was kind of like, you throw it in my face as a challenge. Big deal. What's going to happen? They say no. It's fine. So went in. I'm sitting in the room. I swear to God, the whole thing, it's 1/3 this room. And then there's like 20 seats, like sitting like sardines. I mean, talking about U.S. Embassy. I mean, come on. They can spend some money. Just give us some air. And there's like a little window next to window. And people, they talk, you can hear what they talk about. There's no like privacy whatsoever. And there was this older gentleman. I can see every person that went to him, that he ended up handing them back their passport, which means no bueno. Right. You gotta go.
No bueno.
I'm like counting 7, 8 people, and guess who's gonna call the next one? yours truly. So I walked in. The guy's trying to have the interview in French, and I said hi. And he took his glass, like, you want to have it in English? At that time, honest to God, I do not understand what words comes out of my mouth. Like, this is just like listening to music and here and there, like, hi, how are you? My name is Tariq, that's it. Anything more than that, you lost me. And I was like, well, if I can't talk to you, then I better off stay back home. And then suddenly I found myself interrogating. I was like, you look stressed. And the guy was just being cool about it. He's like, yeah, it's just a very tough job. And I'm like, you see, you're the front line of where I want to go, and you look stressed. You give me the impression that I'm about to go to more stress world. And I'm like, look behind me. I mean, back in Morocco, it's like everybody's having a great time. It's like it's an easy-going life. There's not this issues of I didn't pay my bills, I'm going to be out of the house. People still live with their parents. Their parents inherit their homes from their older parents, so it's not a lot of pressure. But suddenly, the interview went in from supposedly 90 seconds, 2 minutes, to 15 minutes, and then he said, come back in the afternoon. I said, okay. Went in, grabbed lunch, came back in the afternoon, had me my passport. Congratulations, welcome to the United States. I said, oh, thank you. And came in here to the state. As I landed, I stayed in Chicago for two weeks just to see the night scene. I came in the summer, again, deceived. It was beautiful.
Went to Lollapalooza.
No, I didn't do that stuff, no. I'm only for 2 weeks. I'm only for 2 weeks, right. I'm not here to vacation. I'm here on a mission. Get it done, go back. And then obviously, if you bring in a diploma, especially master's from here, you go there and make good money versus the lifestyle of living there, it's pretty good. So I was here for 2 weeks. I came in the summer, it was gorgeous, beautiful. But my transcript was for Metropolitan University in Florida. So I was like, okay, I'll go Florida. I didn't want to stay around my older brother. It feels like, sitting with your father figure. So I went out there, stayed there for 1 semester. I hated it. All I kept thinking about was like, oh my God, skyscrapers, sky is blue, it's sunny, it's nice outside. I came in on Christmas back. Guess what? I have never seen so much snow in my whole entire life.
It changed a little.
It was good at the beginning, like a kid in a candy store.
Sure.
But as I start living it, and as I have to start take the blue line to go to take classes, ASL, I wanted to make sure that if I'm a host at someone's home, I need to learn the cultures and their traditions. You come to my house, you apply to my rules. I'm in your house, I gotta make sure that I get to that point. So all the time I was listening to like music, have transcript in front of me, and I would read. But at one point, I would start speaking English a lot faster, but with the accent, like the Arab accent, like bir habsi yes, bir habsi no, I don't know exactly. So, but I wanted to make sure that at least I get myself, cross point that I wanted to share with people, they can get it. I still have sometimes you get that French accent gets involved, but it is what it is. At least I speak English is my third language. What's your first? long story short, got into Elmhurst College. Again, Elmhurst College was great experience. I'm sitting there, the gentleman asking me for the GED, graduate record exam. I'm like, GRE. I'm like, what's the purpose of it? And he was like, well, just so we know that you can follow mentor when he speaks and understand. I was like, are you having a problem understanding what I'm saying? He's like, no, because I have no problem understanding what you're saying. So let's talk about tuition. And then, of course, as an international student, you pay 4 times what a local is, and you're not qualified for scholarship. So I had to work at the Billy Goat at the same time as, you know, saving my money and then going Billy Goat cheeseburger, right? At the lower Michigan.
Sure.
So worked there, finish up my school. Immediately, I got a job offer working with the Citigroup as a money.
So financial services.
I know.
So you went down sort of a different path.
I went beginning. I started doing a business e-commerce. Then I went to the finance. Well, in order to build something that's what this platform is about, you really need to have a taste of where do you want to go with it, right? And I want to get that taste, personal experience, plus bring some smart individuals to my team to help fulfill the gap that I have. But at the end of the day, I still want to make sure that I know what's happening around me, and not just be told, oh, this is a good option, and just take it for what it is. So I went into the financial sector, started doing with the money laundering. Funny because they had this.
You started to
money launder?
Yes. No, not. I was an anti-money laundering officer. So,
okay. That anti part is very important to the story. Very important to the story.
But like they were looking at a lot, especially for the Narrows Club section. They're looking at these wealthy billionaires, Arabs, the royalties. And then these guys, like this analyst at that time, was like, oh, this guy spent $1.5 million in a necklace. And I looked at the last name, I was like, yeah, this guy can spend 10 times that price in a necklace if he wants to. Don't you know who that is? Oh, no. Well, Google the name. And what they were looking in terms of money laundering was just, you know, cash that gets out of the ATM. I was like, that's easy to trace. You know what's money laundering? That jewelry. Let's find out if you can sell it in the black market and turn it into cash. Yes. It's untraceable. That expensive arts. No, these are things that you want to pay attention to, not the cash. Cash, it's traceable.
The play's already done.
Right.
So that's when I start using my tech background and start build reports. Get a 30 million transaction, trying to compromise it into a single report with 12 pages. Graphics, thank you very much, not numbers. So anyone can see those and understand what it is and find out who they want to reach out to in terms of more digging. Fast forward, 3 years, I think, on that system. I was like, this isn't for me. You know, I feel like cubicles is just so depressing. And people walking by smiling, saying, oh, great, I love my job. BS, you don't. You're sitting there miserable. You're not really, listen, I know I'm going to fail. I failed a few times, but I fell in something that I love, which is okay. I can go back again and then start building. But you're failing in something you don't love. So I took the risk, the leap of faith. I took off. 2 months in the process of just hanging out, being, you know, jobless, I was sitting at this hookah lounge, and
nothing good happens in a hookah lounge after midnight.
Well, we weren't at midnight; it was still early in the afternoon.
Okay.
So I got this gentleman. He's a distributor for, like, you know, stores, and then he comes like, "Oh, you from Morocco?" I say, "Yes, I am." And he said, "Do you know about oregano?" I was like, "Of course we know about oregano." Like, come on, man. It's like asking Mexican, "Do you know about tequila?" So I'm like, "Sure, what do you need?" He said, Costco wants to get some, and we can get it in Costco at any time. Just let's get it done. So I said, I took the leap of faith. I said, how about this? I'll bring it, and you buy it from me, and then you can sell it to whoever you want. Sounds good? Sure. And of course, as I brought it, I was actually sitting in my basement packaging that stuff. I bring my sister, my brother's like, hey, I need some help. Like, my hands would having blisters all over them from, like, sealing those bottles. But you got to start somewhere, right? And I was around to reach out to this guy, and I say, hey, I have your stuff is ready. When are you going to pick it up? And not a call, not a show. So I went ahead and I created a website. Again, I use my technical background. I built on my own site, and I start sell stuff. Then I start give away to people that I want them to try it, like the influencers, what they call them nowadays. And then that led me in NBC, WGN, Sun Times, Tribune. And then just from there, we start doing some beauty show expo, and we start talking to more people. And next thing you know, we went from one product to a full line of hair, which next time I'll get you guys.
That's something, sure.
For sure. And then since then, you know, it was just a venture that now is taking care of itself.
So is that still in play?
Yeah, it is. Okay. So what I have is I met with a gentleman in Canada, and because the name is French and it means African gold, it's a lot of francophones in Montreal and Quebec and all that areas. So what we do is we put a sub-warehouse out there, and then he managed the whole distribution from there.
Got it.
But ultimately what I want, and again, that business was built because I was in Morocco and I went into this rural areas, like in the middle of nowhere, the mountains, and I was buying my pure oil from handmade by these widows women. So meaning my money was being put to good use. I'm getting a premium quality gold, and I know my money is going to be used by them directly to put foods on the table.
Yeah.
Being a widow in Arab country is hard. You're not going to find a lot of men that wants to come back and marry a widow woman or divorcee. So in a lot of these rural areas, it's hard for women because they never worked in their life. The man was always the supplier. Now they build these corporations, which I'm glad that they did, because now a lot of companies are coming back to them and buying from them versus buying from the actual distributor that gets you a diluted product and, you know, obviously knockoff price. So
sure. Well, and so I want to make sure we talk about ChoreRelief.
Yes.
So let's shift. How did you actually transition, and where did you come up with the idea for ChoreRelief? Because I think that with this gig economy, right? There's like 34% that is
35% are work.
Yeah, exactly. And they're looking at what, 43% by 2020.
Yes.
So let's talk about that a little bit. Where you came up with the idea and how you moved that forward, because this is only a year and a half. Almost a year and a half.
Yeah, well, the year and a half was just like the first line of codes. We actually went in somewhat soft live by February, March of this year. But the idea of ChoreRelief is, I grew up in a gig economy society. I grew up in a sharing space. Like Uber for us is something that I grew up in. I'm 36 years old, and I grew up knowing that you can just have someone pick you up with their own private car, drop you off, and you pay them. Same thing with Airbnb. We didn't have fancy hotels in Marrakesh or Agadir or Fez or Casablanca. And if there's a festival, chances are you're going to be sleeping on the beach or in your car or in someone else's living room. That's what Airbnb, and we're talking about decades ago. Now, fast forward in terms of what this gig economy nowadays is, it's Band-Aid solution. It really is. If you are going to be, and like you said, this is going to be your only main source of income, it has to have a potential of growth. Being by yourself, doing labors, there's no growth potential. If you're sick, you're done. Right. What we did is we put that idea, and we also put the possibility of building a team around it. So you can start in today to do cleaning, but you're great at it. You have family, friends.
Better at it.
You have a friends, family that are just sitting, not doing anything. You can bring them to your platform. Now they can go and accept jobs on your behalf. We send in them real jobs, not lead. There is no upfront cost to them. There is no barriers for them to join.
So do you just take a percentage then?
We have a take rate model where we take a percentage once the transaction or the customer pay for the invoice. But our platform enable them to automate scheduling, payment, invoicing, and on top of it, like hiring individuals. And then we send in them real customer jobs. Unlike other platforms out there, you have to pay to play.
Right. So what cities are you in today then?
Well, when we launched, we wanted to be in Chicago. But I don't know if you guys got a picture of the recent map, but now we have market in New York, Florida, Texas, and California organically. We haven't even put any dime into this. And that's just from one platform, iOS. Actually, yesterday was the first release of the Android and the service provider app on the Android. And in our database, the supply side is 83% of users are Android.
Wow, geez.
So that's because Android's a lot more popular in Europe.
And it's free, and it's free, yeah. You buy a contract from a phone, they give you a free phone. They don't give you free iPhones. So our workers, 83% of the laborers are Android. And now we just released that, so hoping that would help us get that really good push that we want.
Right. So a quick question, just sort of on the gig economy in general, right? Would you say that this is something where there's been a shift in mindset because of like mobile and flexibility? Or would you say that it weighs on individuals not necessarily being able to get full-time work? Or is it really just a combination of the two?
So what we do also on top of just having the technology fix the problem is we do every week orientations. Like when people come to us as a workers, they come in the mindset of being an employee. We shift that mindset and we're trying to turn them into an entrepreneurs. Like when you finish the job, ask the client questions, get a feedback, ask them if they need help with something else. You're building relationship report. I want that customer to hire you again. Like, this is how you should start, act, and think. And we do this coaching every week. And then actually right now what we're doing is we're filming a series of weekly episodes where we pick certain topics and then we just articulate it and put it in front of them. Like, this isn't just about technology fixing the problem. We are actually involved and investing human aspect into it, because this is a service business. You can't let tech fix the service business. And this is what the 1.0 gig economy does.
Right.
Some of the people we talk to, first thing is like, I never spoke to anyone from other platforms. And they are in other platforms. They never spoke to one. And with us, they say, listen, we're available 24/7, chat, email. Join us to conference call every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Time, where we talk about different topics and we answer questions. We might go more than 30 minutes. Sometimes we go for 1 hour. But at the end of the day, my success is your success, except that I have thousands of entrepreneurs in one side and I'm in the other side.
Yeah,
so
sure.
if they're all successful.
Right. Well, yeah, and that adding that educational component
Yes.
and supporting them is huge. So you are out of 1871, is
Yes.
that right?
Yes.
What would you say has been one of the catalysts or one of the best things coming out of 1871 that's helped you? First
and foremost, building a team. I probably wouldn't have had a chance to find the individuals that I have in my team. I mean, you know what they say, birds fly with their own kind. And I like to think of myself as an eagle. And by that, I mean I work 80, 90 hours a week on this. And I'm fortunate enough to find a team that's willing to put that time for sweat equity. So people that believe in your mission and vision, obviously it was an easy process, but I learned one thing, if I could take this experience and share with everyone, is hire slow, but fire fast. It really isn't worth it. I mean, if it's painful, just end it. As far as 1871, I mean, obviously, in terms of even like this mentor session, I learned so many things about meeting some individual, just about how to, you know, find some growth hacking technique, which what I actually came across in terms of getting our supply side, the workers, like we paying absolutely nothing. You know, people in our situation, they have this chicken and egg problem. I only have one. The other side, I already figured it out. And we haven't even actually started looking for demands yet, and I'm sure I will find some kind of growth hacking involved into it, which I think people do business with you because of they're passionate and they're in line of what you're doing it for. And in this story, getting across as many people, it's just no brainer. Plus, I'm telling the customer, here's how easy it is to post a job. You name your price. No more get a code. No more wait for someone to tell you how much you're willing to pay. This is a service you can do. You just choose to be lazy, not do it. So if you're willing to pay someone $40, pass it to us. Your job gets in front of thousands of workers. Let the marketplace decide. Now here's another burden. And here's another burden we took away from workers. You want to hire someone, you got to go through piles of reviews and star ratings and spend hours and days to pick one guy for what? To cut the grass. What we put in a system in place is, obviously clients, when they finish the job, they review the person and they leave a star rating program, and then we use that internally to filter the weeds out. So you don't have to read those reviews anymore. You come to the site one step, boom, post a job, done.
Do you vet them before they come on?
We do two ways of vetting. We make sure that the identity is verified, and we also do background check. And then even for skills, like I said, we go over this mentoring session where we want to make sure that we get them things. The future plan is to find a brand ambassadors and get some experienced, skilled contractors and do some kind of like a live workshop. And hopefully I can use 1871 space and just bring some of these employees and just get them like in front of this mentor guy and show them, hey, certain techniques, how to cut this, how to do this. Because a lot of people, they're using this as a side gig, but I want them to look at this. It is going to be your only way of income. You look at the industry factor, you see the business service, and you see the chores and services. This is less physical, this is more physical. The less physical, it's gonna be automated so quick, so fast. Even for lawyers that are listening right now, you don't need to meet lawyers anymore. You're gonna have a system, you tell them details and draft your contract for you. I need an accountant, push a button, enter your data, here's how much you're paying for taxes. It's already been done. But the physical work, it's going to take for a long time for it to actually be automated.
So really quick, just what are sort of your top, call it your top 3 or 4 services that are on ChoreRelief?
So the top one is cleaning, landscaping, and handyman. And soon when Chicago will be snow removal. We have a list of categories. We don't have like all chores. We're not a butler service. We have a specific chores that I think it's repeatable, that you need it, but it's also painstaking work. And if you look at the statistics, most of the Americans, they spend anywhere from 1.5% to 2.5% of their annual income on chores.
I did not know that.
There's a market.
And you spend about an hour and a half to 2 hours. If you're male, you spend an hour and a half a day. If you're female, you spend 2 hours a day in doing nothing but chores. Multiply that by how many days a year. That's almost 740 hours you're spending in nothing but chores. That's literally 1 month, 24/7 spending it in nothing but chores. Now imagine me telling you this, guys, I'm about to sell you 1 month a year for the price that you choose.
That's good. That's good.
Good job out of you.
So how can someone find Chore Relief?
They can go to our website, ChoreRelief.com, and if they're looking to be contractors, they can go again to ChoreRelief.com, click on the top right corner, become a pro, sign up. We'll get you your application. Just be patient with us if we're not in your market territory yet, but they can help us share our stuff that we have in social media.
That's fantastic.
Wonderful.
So, Tariq, great meeting you,
Thank
and
you.
good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Good job out of you. We're going to take a quick 90-second break. When we come back, we got Liz and Jenny next. This is Take Straight Live.